tonight?
Good evening, Alfred.
Great. Now, Chris, I'll start off with you for good reason, because what we're just showing our viewers, as I did describe, is this long queue of residents in this area, this Gbenyiri area, in the Solatuna Kaba district, where you've been monitoring the situation. In fact, I know that you're close to the action right now. Now, tell me what the security agencies are doing to, as it were, give confidence, some sense of security to the people, because despite their presence, they are queuing to leave the area.
Yes, Alfred, it's very pathetic to say the least, because if you visited the Gbenyiri area, you realize that life is indeed very tough for the many residents living around that area. Since yesterday, when the IGP announced that more security personnel have been deployed to the area, this morning we still saw some attacks on some communities. Even when the police in the Gbenyiri community escorted some persons from the community to safety, by the time they returned to the community, the chief's house was burnt. And that tells us how serious the situation is. And the IGP currently is in the Kalba community. He's been engaging the chief of Kalba and the people within that enclave. He visited the Gbenyiri community and other adjoining communities, yet to get to the Sola community, where a lot of the residents, victims of this conflict, have fled to. A while ago, I was at the Sola police station, and I must say that, Alfred, things are not rosy for the many women, children, and physically challenged persons who have managed to flee the area. In fact, buses and other transport means do not even want to stop and pick these people, even though they are holding money and ready to board vehicles to other parts of the country. I asked a few of them where they are going to. They said they are just entering the buses to go to wherever that the bus will leave them, because they will feel safer there than being around here. Alfred, I must also say that some of them, actually, the women have not eaten for the past 2 days being at the police station. All they do is to look for food and give to the children that they are moving with. Fortunately for them this night, the gender minister, actually through the Ghana School Feeding Coordinator in the Savannah region, prepared 100 packs of food with water and has given to them to take. So that is what some of them have taken today. For the past 2 days, they've not eaten. So, Alfred, it's a very, very terrible situation. The IGP has indicated in Gbenyiri that more police will be deployed to the area, and also appealing to the feuding factions to lay down their arms and embrace the peace talks or negotiations that the Solatuna Kaba District Assembly has started. Together with the Savannah Regional Security Council, the IGP, and of course, Alfred, the commanding officer of the Northern Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, was also in the area. In fact, he has to stay on motorbikes to be able to access some of the areas. And so, Alfred, it's not an easy thing, and the escalation is what we should be worried about. Because if you go to the area, you find out that the place is a scattered area. And so you see one community here, you go a distance, you see another community. And some of these communities are not easily accessible. So the police and military are unable to move into these communities with their vehicles. So when there is an attack here, by the time the security operatives in these areas will move to the place where the fresh attack is taking place, they would have been done attacking the place and moving to another place. And so it's a very serious situation. And like the IGP said, more security personnel will have to be deployed to the area.
Now, you've referenced him a number of times, and after assessing the situation there, this is what Christian Teteyono had to say.
Since I came, we don't hear any gunshots and all those things because the security personnel have actually taken the ground and then making sure that life returns to normalcy. Yes, so I can say that we are firmly on the ground. The police, military, and other security services working together to make sure that life returns. If things are not well, passing through this tough terrain, several kilometers to get here, it will be difficult for you and I to get here. But your observation shows that at least the gunfire has come down, and then all we want is that how we have to work together to bring peace so that people can now return to their settlements without any fear of being attacked. That is the stage in which we are working. Or then there was an emergency they have to respond to, and they went to respond to the emergency. The most important is that they have to protect life, and then later on they protect property. And they took the first option of protecting life. Yes, it is enormous, and I think with that we have to now increase the numbers of the police that have to be on the ground over there, so that when others are not there, others can be there to hold the fort.
And that's the IGP there, Christian Teteyono, speaking to journalists, selected journalists there, including my colleague, Christopher Marco. Chris, you referenced the Ministry of Gender as well, that intervention to feed the vulnerable, especially the children and the women, whom you say some of them haven't eaten for over 48 hours. And we have a video of that one as well. This intervention by the Ministry of Gender to feed these women, predominantly elderly women, who have been caught in this crossfire in the area. This is what happened earlier today. Take a look. And that's exactly what, Chris, you referenced. They're scrambling for their food, clearly confirming what you had indicated. They're living days without food there. And what is also troubling is the elderly in there as well. The elderly, quite a number of these women who have been impacted by this conflict and are fleeing the area are elderly. And you spoke to a 78-year-old woman.
Yeah, yes, Alfred. In fact, as like I said, it's very pathetic. It's an eyesore because when I got there, I saw very old women, very, very old women. I wonder how they were even brought to the Solar police station. Some of them actually are just lying on their mats. They are unable to get up. According to one of them, she was lying down. Someone was passing with a motor tricycle, and the person stopped. A good Samaritan stopped and picked her. So she doesn't even know where her grandchildren are as of now, and that is a very worrying situation for her. She's been there since yesterday, and the situation is not getting any better. She doesn't even have anything to move from that place to another place. So when the food came and she had some to eat, she was only praising the providers of that food, that in fact, at least today she has had something to put in her stomach. And I also chanced on a physically challenged person. And after,
let's hear from the 78-year-old that you spoke to when she eventually got food to eat after days of going without food. Take a look. And this is the 78-year-old who, after living days without food because of this conflict in this Gbenyiri area, after the intervention from the gender ministry, had eventually had some food to eat. And I see, Mr. Kumadoe, shaking your head as to a worry and sadness, but there's not alone in this. There are physically challenged persons as well, persons living with disabilities who have also been caught in this crossfire as a result of this particular violence in the Gbenyiri area in the Solatuna Kalba district of the Savannah region. You see this person who's having to walk on with the support of crutches also affected, and they are all fleeing the area as a result of this violence. It couldn't have gotten any worse than this, isn't it?
Definitely, yes. Information management in moments such as this is very important. Once people don't know where to go and they don't know what is coming towards them, they are likely to follow where the masses are going. And if the solar area as a holding area for them, predominantly because of the police station, cannot hold up the elderly, the young, and the children, then you are likely to have situations such as this. And if the food distribution van do not also have enough personalities to identify people by categories in order to provide them with the food, even if it is available, then you are going to have a struggle where it becomes the survivor for the fittest. And these are the unintended purposes and activities of conflict, and when they escalate very fast, because nobody imagines what would have happened if they stay at home. Would they be killed, or their grandchildren will come back to them? We need to stop it as quickly as possible. We need to ensure that we provide a security cover. And thank God that IGP himself is on the ground. My sources says that additional numbers might be getting to the ground. Let's call up the area, stretch up our resources, and make sure that we flush out people who have taken advantage of the vulnerabilities and created problems for the communities there.
I see. Now we're talking about some reinforcement. How potent will this be, especially because there was police and military presence there, and then this violence is taking place? In fact, it's escalated beyond some levels now, leading to the death of over 10 people in the last couple of days. So beyond the reinforcement, what other strategies are we supposed to be seeing?
Definitely, I think we need to create a buffer zone. We need to create a buffer zone as quickly as possible. Communication will have to be swift. The right people will have to be speaking to the right centers and the right courtesies at the right time. Information flow will help the inflow from one movement, from one area to the other, and from one location to the other. In as much as we need security people there, there are things security people can do, and there are things NADMO and the gender ministry can do. Coordination of the activities will also help in this direction. And I think as quickly as possible, once the military gets in there and the specialized forces of the police get in there, they should be able to provide a cover-up and create a buffer zone. And so people who might be anxious or might be afraid they may have anxiety issues will have comfort that the police are here or the military is here because of them. Then they can also have some level of decent meals while we look at the broader context of why the community members are fleeing to that particular area and what they can do to send them back home.
Right. I appreciate it. And please stay with me, Mr. Kumadoe. And Chris, in a minute, is it the case that, yes, all these persons are also, a number of them are fleeing to Ivory Coast, as we saw last night, the persons who had queued at this particular area?
Yes, so Alfred, those who are fled off are fleeing to Ivory Coast do not come towards the solar area. The Gbenyiri area is very close to Ivory Coast, and so they just cross the white Volta and they are in Ivory Coast. So most of them, that is what they do. Now, those who come towards this area are those that their communities were not the first to be attacked these are escalated incidents where some of their communities have been touched, and so they are now moving towards the solar and tuna areas to seek refuge. In fact, this number we are seeing here, that is only for solar. If you go to the tuna area too, we have hundreds of people who are seeking refuge at various points in that area. And so it's not like they only come to solar community. Some of them are around tuna, others go towards Ivory Coast to seek refuge.
Chris, I thank you. I know that you're moving with the security team, and so we'll be getting consistent updates on this rather worrying development in that Gbenyiri area and the Tuna Kalba district of the Savannah region. Christopher Marco is our Savannah regional correspondent. And Mr. Kumadoe, stay with me because we're going to another issue where 8